Hello, everybody. Welcome to CCA. I'm Sasu here with Sib, and we're going to be looking at Season 7, of course, Div 7. It's going to be the birthday crew versus Grizzco SquidChums, but before we get into that, Sib, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, Sasu. Just finished a Ludi set a few hours ago. What a bumpy ride that was, but we were able to manage, and now I'm here, fully excited in commentating with you in this Division 7 set.
That's exciting because I feel like Ludi can really take a lot out of you. A best of 9, of course, these teams are only going to be doing a best of 7, so not quite as in it for the long haul, but who knows? It might similarly be a bumpy ride. Seeing both of these teams go up against each other, especially because I think the birthday crew in particular not a team to be trifled with. Right now, they're going 3-1, and their only loss is against Tentacoolers, who is currently 4-1, and that went all the way, the whole distance to a Game 7. So I'm sure they're here to try and match Tentacoolers' their score there with a 4-1 coming out of this.
Yeah, and looking at the Grizzco SquidChums, overall, not much to say regarding the information that we have, but currently they are 2-2 overall this season. So, I think like what they have to do is if they are able to win this set, then this could make some. There could be some big changes within this particular group that both them and the birthday crew are in. So this might be a bit of an insane set. I feel like. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think both of these teams they kind of have a lot on the line. Grizzco SquidChums being 2-2 at the moment. Of course, if they lose that, that tips them down to a 2-3, and they will overall be negative. So I feel like if you want to hold on to your chances of like playoffs and getting ahead and having like a solid record, you're gonna want to finish this out, this particular set, with a 3-2. And of course, the birthday crew, they want to be dominant because a 3-1 looks good, 4-1 looks even better because, of course, they will instead be at, a 3-2, which is what Grizzco SquidChums is looking to come out of this with. So if they don't want it to be close and just kind of dominate the rest of their group, they're going to want to finish this out pretty quickly. But I think we actually do have the map modes that we're going to be looking at in this best of 7. And we're going to be starting off with Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market. And starting off, we will. Let's take a look at these loadouts.
I am noticing a very, very interesting comp, in fact, two very interesting comps from both of these teams. We see Birthday Crew running the Twinkle Doolies, the Explo, and the Vanilla Carbon, as well as the Orange NZAP. And what do you see over on the other side uh, of the Grisco?
What I'm immediately noticing is that paintbrush. You don't see a lot of paintbrush, especially this one, in competitive play, but you see that paintbrush is going to go down. Actually, 3 members down there for UNCA ultimately. So you just have the last member gonna get a pick, ultimately keep that space, and probably make it a little bit easier for their teammates to go in. And surprisingly, despite taking that flank and keeping that space, they have not gone down. I think that really allows UNCA to move forward and try and contest this zone.
Yeah, but as you said that, I noticed that the Carbon was able to get a massive double pick. Very, very good job on their part. And now I think this is going to enable the members of the birthday crew to try to push up. But the zone is flipped in UNCA's favor right now. And yeah, I think they're already off to a pretty solid. I feel like they're off to a pretty good start right now. Just trying their best to push up, but I think they got a little. I think with all the resources being thrown at them, I think the zone will be flipped back in the birthday crew's favor.
Yes, they've done a good job of just like tempering themselves. Finally, they're up there. You see clubs on the top left being an absolute nuisance. You do not want shots from an Explo just getting you out from that corner. But right now, we have things in a little bit of neutral. Poppy, I think, has that flow aura activated. So, of course, they're playing a little bit careful to take the most out of that because we talked about the comps, but we also have to talk about the fact that UCSC is not cooler. The birthday crew, they are just going in it, and especially they've opted to use the orange zap instead of the one that would give them coolers. So they really are all in as it pertains to their pushes here.
Yeah, I did not realize that they were running coolerless. And as I was speaking, Birthday Crew was able to get a huge wipeout. So now this is going to enable them to really go into SquidChums' spawn area side here. Gato just out here like having full control here, not letting anyone coming through Switch. And sure enough, the Birthday Crew won the first game of this set.
Yes, I think they had a really strong retake that we saw there. When Grizzco SquidChums were kind of moving in, you can see at the end a lockout can kind of spell just the end of the game because sometimes you just don't have what you need to break back into mid there. But you're seeing a lot of experience and a lot of really strong teamwork coming out of the birthday crew. And honestly, with a performance like this, it's no wonder that they're currently 3-1 in their division.
Yeah, even like with all of the specials that the birthday crew have, I feel like all of that just enables so much paint. Like I think it mainly comes from the chumps and the storm and
Mhm.
uh hmm I forgot what else was there. I it's There was just a lot happening there, but anyways, so much paint that I think it also just enabled both the dualies and the carbon to just really just camp around the spawn area, just really causing this sort of lockout for them to not let any of the members from SquidChums to go in. But um, with all that being said, we are heading straight to game number 2, which will be Clamblitz on Museum del Foncino, a bit of a classic S3 map mode, in if I do say so myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always interested to see. Zones is kind of the standard competitive mode, but when you move into a specific place and a specific mode like Clamblitz, Museum del Alfonsino, are there going to be switches in the comps? We saw that very funky comp out of the birthday crew between them having, I think, those twinkle dualies, the Explo, the carbon with zip. Is that maybe something specific for zones or is it, there's always a question of just like whether there's going to be a complete overhaul or not. So interested to see what we're seeing out of this game.
I'm honestly very excited to see like what other like interesting comps that Birthday Crew might be running, because I feel like from what I could tell, it looks very colorful for it to be like an explosive birthday party. If you think about it, but yeah. As for Birthday Crew, I am very curious to see like what kind of comp changes will Grizzco SquidChums will be running. We'll find out very soon enough as we get game number 2 started in just a moment here, folks.
Yes, here comes Clam Blitz. Super excited to see what it is we will be seeing here. Let's see. I think.
I think we're not seeing anything on our side, but I am actually having my stream open right now. Oh, there we go. I do see that I noticed one change or two changes coming in from Birthday Crew, and that is the Dapple Doolies and the Undercover Brella. What on earth?
Yes, this is a comp that could just give a competitive player a heart attack. That's super interesting. You have Gato, I think, at the very least, we pointed out how Birthday Crew was running coolerless. I think this time around, they do bring the cooler to the party, but you see that Brush is going to just be mowed down, but ultimately, it feels like Grizzco, SquidChums, they have a really good hold. They've moved back a little bit in the meantime, but no scoring right off the top, and all of the clam economy seems to be with the Birthday Crew.
I do want to point out though that on the side of Grizzco SquidChums that they're running both the C Junior, or as I like to call it, the Senior, and the Vanilla Ink Brush, and the Rapid Pro Deco. Yeah, so honestly, both these teams are running totally different comps than what we saw earlier. And so far, though, things are kind of looking pretty neutral. It is in the favor of Birthday Crew, but Grizzco SquidChums are absolutely doing an amazing job just really defending their spinner area.
Yes, they really are. And honestly, I'm interested to see, because we now have this Brush online, I feel like Brushes are very famous in clams for just these sneaky plays where they're able to just book it under the enemy basket and get a play that way. But you see Windmill alone, going to be gunned down there by Doom, making sure to clean up that remaining ball. But I think in the meantime, a lot of the members of Grizzco SquidChums have just been found on their plat. It seems like it's really hard for them to break into mid. And I remember we were talking before about Sib, all of the paint coming out of Birthday Crew. So I think that's part of the reasons why they just can't seem to push.
Yeah, I feel like it is all up to the Senior to just really paint as much as they could, but even with that though, it's still not enough as, even though like even though that they have like, Birthday Crew has like a lot of, has like a good amount of paint. I think it's mainly coming from the specials. But anyways, we saw a wipeout earlier coming in from the Grizzco SquidChums, and now I think like in the process they were going to try to take control of mid, but unfortunately all of the members of Birthday Crew just went back in and reclaimed mid, and now things are kind of back to where they started before.
Yes, they were able to score on that basket. Not quite going to follow through with it. However, you always want to get to that magic 60-point mark. Not going to happen, but I think with 3 members down, it's just the Brush. They're trying to kind of shark there, but not going to work. They get the trade, but it's a little bit too late. In the meantime, they've gone down to 67, gone straight through. Windmill is still up. Going to see if they can get that, and it is Gato that picks it up and recovers that ball ultimately. So once again, Birthday Crew is just going to keep this space and continue scoring in on that basket.
Yeah, and right now Windmill is out here just absolutely just being an absolute wall for just making sure to not let any of the members of Grizzco SquidChums to retake their spinner area. But unfortunately, though, they do get taken out in the process. But this was an incredible stall for them, as this did enable the members of Birthday Crew to go to 38 points remaining, and only a minute remaining here, folks. And we're gonna see what happens what happens next this upcoming round.
Yes, you have Gato getting a critical pick there, because you see it feels like Birthday Crew getting poised to push again, even though they don't necessarily have to. They could have been on the back end, but no, they're saying the best defense is a good offense and just moving in. Meanwhile, same old story. You have Grizzco SquidChums just defending for their life. That Brush trying to get anything by themselves on this right. They're chipped out a little bit, pushing nonetheless, and I think that there's 20 seconds left. Certainly not impossible to get past this 38-point mark, especially in one push, but you have to get to the enemy plat first, and I'm not quite sure if I see that happening now.
Looking at what we're seeing, it seems like we are seeing a potential push happening. The Inkjet coming out, Redwood trying their best to go in, but unfortunately they get taken out by Windmill's undercover. Make that 2 extra members going down on the side of Grizzco SquidChums, and it is all really up to the Rapid, but they get taken out. And looking at the overtime limit here, unfortunately there isn't enough time. and looks like Birthday Crew was able to win the second game of the set.
Yes, with a very interesting comp change as well, despite the fact that you ask a lot of people, they'll say, hey, undercover, maybe one of the weakest weapons in the game, but I think Windmill trying to really prove them wrong there, because if anything, it felt like the undercover was the linchpin of what really helped the Birthday Crew. In that final push, I think there were 2 members down, it was just Windmill and another member, but the fact that they couldn't break that shield stopped them from opening up that basket and a potentially devastating push. So really strong work from Windmill there.
Yeah, like, I think like they were overall just being the skirmisher of the team, like just being the distraction and just making sure to and just waiting until like they have a teammate by their side, and I feel like that's like one of the biggest strengths coming in from Birthday Crew. Like they have such great teamwork between each other. Like I think that's just one of the things that Grizzco SquidChums need to like pay attention to. I feel like they have to figure out some sort of way to break that teamwork that the Birthday Crew have. So we're gonna see that once we get to game number 3, which is about to start in just a moment here, folks.
Yes, it's going to be Tower Control Mako Mart, another classic that we see in competitive Splatoon. I'm going to be looking to see how much AoE each of the teams decide to come in with, because I feel like I always say he who controls the stacks controls the game. And a great way to control those stacks is with AoE. So you have a change back to the Paintbrush and the S-Blast there for Grizzco SquidChums. And on the side of the Birthday Crew, we have an Arrow Spray, interestingly
Oh
enough,
my
perhaps for the
goodness.
GG Booyah. Maybe it's kind of like, listen, you may say, oh, kill the Arrow Spray because they've got Booyah. With something like an Arrow Spray that gets Booyah bombs so easily, a GG Booyah will always be online.
Yeah, and I also do want to point out, Sasu, that there's also a custom jet, or not the custom, the new third jet sculpture kit coming out, and honestly, you don't normally see that in competitive Splatoon. But honestly, as a former jet player back in Splatoon 1, I'm excited to see like what this jet has cooking.
Yes, and as a C-Jet player myself, sometimes I think this is a really solid pick because it feels as though they are getting run down, Grizzco SquidChums. So having someone who has a splashdown like that, who can just force people to get out of their radius, will be very helpful. But you see Poppy, who says that Arrow Spray can't fight, running people down here, really helping their team continue this push. In the meantime, they've gotten off of the tower, but I think being able to paint for these Booyahs, displace the other team, I think that does chip out Doom and ultimately get them down. 2 members are down on each team, but I think when the dust settles, currently it is Birthday Crew who have the higher score, so we'll see if they're finally able to get out of this neutral.
Yeah, and looks like Grizzco SquidChums do have most of the control here. Inkjet, or the splashdown coming in from the jet here. And I think this did enable this does enable the members of Grizzco SquidChums to go in, but I think I couldn't tell what was going on in right stacks, but something might have happened to the point where I think it did enable the members of the Birthday Crew to able to take control of their left stacks, and now they are already pushing their tower to the second checkpoint.
I think I'm seeing a dismantling of some teamwork here, unfortunately, for Grizzco SquidChums. You see that they've switched off of that orange zap instead onto the gray one that has Cooler, but you see that Cooler being popped maybe a little bit selfishly in the corner there by 5-star Doom, who does ultimately go down. So their team not going to have this Cooler for that push. A nasty wipeout being performed by the Birthday Crew as well, as they just break the second checkpoint and cruise to the third one.
Yeah, and right now they are already in the third and final checkpoint. It is really now or never for Grizzco SquidChums to go in, but unfortunately, though, with such strong defense from Birthday Crew, they did not let any of them touch the tower at all. And now they won the third game. They not only get a knockout, but win the third game of the set.
Yes, they've put themselves very steadily on set point here. This is a best of 7, and as soon as they make it to 4, that will be the entire set. So they've swept until now. We're going to another classic, Rainmaker Scorch Gorge, and we've seen a change just about every single time. That
Yeah.
every time you see maybe a bottom tier weapon, something like an arrow spray or an undercover umbrella, they prove that in the right hands, I guess, they're able to make magic with it. But like I mentioned during the game, I think we're seeing a bit of a breakdown in teamwork with Grizzco SquidChums. Like their positioning is, they're not necessarily playing together, and when they are, they're all just kind of grouping up and going down at the same time. So I wonder what it is that they have to do to turn this around, because right now they need a reverse sweep.
Yeah, this is definitely a dire situation for them. They really have to figure out what exactly they need to do um uh, before proceeding on to the next game. And yeah, I don't know, like it's really they really have to figure out exactly what to do. I feel like they have to, like, they obviously have to work as a team, but they shouldn't be clubbing up a lot. So I think it's all about just kind of separating and taking different angles. I'd say it's really just that. And I feel like if that happens, then we may be able to see some potential teamwork going on between these between these between both of them. We're gonna have to find out soon enough.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Perhaps a divide and conquer sort of strategy may do them well, because as it is, I
Yeah.
think some people are caught a little bit flat footed away from each other. Some people maybe not winning their 1v1s necessarily. And I think, like, as people say famously, good players win 1v1, great players win 2v1s, right? You have to help your
Mhm.
teammates clean up those picks. Don't let them go down by themselves. And I think that'll be really helpful for them, because listen, maybe your weapon can't break through that undercover shield, but two of you certainly can. So
Mhm.
we'll see moving into this next game if this is finally the time where they get it going. I think we have a switch back onto that carbon. We'll take a closer look, and it is the V carbon with the zip. I think this is looking closer to Birthday Crew's first go around, except they have Poppy instead of on that orange tap on the gray one. And a similar return to form, with the exception of a range blaster that we are now seeing from Grizzco SquidChums.
It's definitely a battle of the end zaps, Sasu. And right now, what an explosive start in game number 4 here. We see the Kraken coming in, and wait a minute, I think this is SquidChums wipeout. So now all they have to do is try to push the Rainmaker, but I think Gato just immediately came back immediately. I think it might have been the cooler that helped them got quick. Just shutting down the push, and now I think most of mid is in Birthday Crew's favor right now.
Yeah, I think once again, it's kind of like what we were saying. They weren't playing together because that Rainmaker was pushing, but they were
Yeah.
primarily pushing alone. None of their teammates were with them. So once again, we're seeing people just kind of go down alone in this mid. They're not able to really keep this spacing. Finally, they get the repop, but ultimately, they're going to have to do a really good job of escorting their Rainmaker, getting the picks that they need. There's that Doom getting a double here, and I think they might be poised to finally walk, since there are 2 members down here. Make it 3 for Birthday Crew.
That is just some incredible movement coming in from Doom here. But unfortunately, though, 2 members do go down. Doom is doing their absolute best in trying to skirmish with the members of Birthday Crew, but unfortunately, they did get taken out, and now finally, Birthday Crew is able to get the Rainmaker, able to flip the lead, and I think they're taking the unorthodox route that we don't normally use in Scourge.
Yes, that dreaded left check. Nobody wants to walk over those grades, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, especially if you don't see the enemy protecting that check. But ultimately, they're not gonna get it. Neither of the teams have broken past their first check, and I think we do see the members of Grizzco SquidChums really playing together, but the zap is coming from there. You see, I think perhaps Agent Blade just asking for help, and Poppy just breaking straight through there and immediately rushing that check to make sure it gets painted. So they pick up themselves. They once again look like they're maybe a bit of a feint to the left to act as though they're going to that left side again, but they're defending right now in that bubble. They get taken care of. I think Doom trying to get that last one for the official wipeout. Gonna let them go, but I think now with this cooler out, a push is imminent here for Grizzco SquidChums.
Yeah, I think like what they got to do is do exactly like what we mentioned before, like just have good teamwork and probably just be a little bit more separated here. But we noticed that I noticed that they are not pushing up as much as they could. I think it's probably because of the X-Flow. I think the X-Flow is I think the cause of what's really slowing them down a lot. But what do you think?
That being the Birthday Crew? Right? I think Birthday Crew... Yeah, they are playing a little bit slower than usual. It actually feels as though Grizzco SquidChums, usually they are the ones to sort of be at the mercy of the pace, but they're playing really fast. Red Hood here is going to get a double, I think, try and put some paint out for who is eventually going to kind of carry that, but you're talking about how they're being slowed down by their backline in the X-Flow, and I would argue, I think the X-Flow is getting a lot of use. They just keep getting so many people down. You have this wipeout coming out, I think no part in chance to that that range just chipping people out, and I think that it's maybe a positioning issue, and look at that, they get denied that check right here.
Man, I feel like this entire game, there hasn't been, like, not a lot happening. I feel like we're just seeing a lot of crazy action in mid here. And right now, though, we see the Rainmaker being picked up, but unfortunately the Carbon was able to sneak in and take them out in the process. And now, I feel like this could be the one and only push, but unfortunately, this is a very unfortunate situation to be in, as the members of Birthday Crew just were able to wipe out the members of Grizzco SquidChums, and now they were able to break the first checkpoint.
Yeah, and very honorable of them. They go and break that first checkpoint, despite the fact that they had the lead. They probably had the space to just back it up completely, but I think ultimately, due to the picks, you are going to have the Birthday Crew taking this last and final game in the set, sweeping Grizzco SquidChums 4-0 in this best of 7.
Yeah, yeah, like, I think despite that, though, like, I did notice a change coming from the side of Grizzco SquidChums. Like, I did notice that, like some of the like the members just really had their moments. Like, we noticed that that the range blaster was able to get like a couple of picks, and we saw the Zap player just able to just be a skirmisher and just helping out just being a distraction and enabling the members of Grizzco SquidChums to try to push up. But even with all of these like noticeable moments there, it isn't enough for them to get to try to get a game in their favor. And the Birthday Crew were able to not only win this game, but also win this entire set. So congratulations to the Birthday Crew for winning, for getting that 4-1.
Yeah, a very dominant set here in this 4-0. I completely agree with you in that we did see a bit of a change. I think Grizzco SquidChums, they realized what it was they had to do, up their intensity perhaps. And I think I agree. We partially saw that, but I think there's positioning. Sometimes I would say just kind of I look there and I think jump out, get out of there, don't deal with that fight, you know. But they're just kind of like I'm gonna stand on it, and then people are staggering and stuff like that. And sometimes this is why Ludi, which is a best of 9, that can be really helpful. It gives you way more space because I think if this were a Ludi set, we might start to see them go for this reverse sweep, but it is only a best of 7. So the birthday crew, like you mentioned, gonna move into a 4-1, and Grizzco SquidChums ultimately at a 2-3. GG's to both of these teams, and really strong Splatoon we got to see here, Sib.
Yeah, I feel like despite Grizzco SquidChums having a pretty tough loss there, like I feel like they definitely understood like exactly like what went wrong in the final game, and they gave it all they got. Yeah, so like it's cool to see that they had definitely made a bit of a change, and sure enough, like they definitely made the birthday crew struggle in the last game. So really good job on their end, giving all their best effort regardless.
Yes, now Birthday Crew getting this 4-0. We will be having an interview with them, I believe, shortly. So I'm definitely really excited. I feel like we saw a lot of super interesting things in that game. So I'm super excited to talk to them, pick their brains a little bit, and also now that they're coming out of this, a 4-0, 4-1 overall in their games, how they're feeling about, I think that just about probably stamps their tickets to getting into playoffs for Div 7, if I'm not mistaken. So, we do have them here, ready for our interview. Exciting stuff.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, welcome on in. Yeah, first of all, congratulations you guys on your 4-0. How are y'all feeling? Yeah, how are y'all feeling today with this match?
We were feeling very excited and ecstatic because like we were really excited because 4-1 means that a very high chance of playoffs, and we were really looking forward to that.
That is exciting. I'm excited for you guys for sure. Now, I feel like Siv and I were super surprised every time we saw your loadouts going into the game. I definitely want to pick your brain about what was it? Were these like pre-comps? Were these just everybody's mains? Or what was behind the comps that you played each map mode with?
So each map mode, it was a little bit of both. We all came into the team with our own mains. So we had like our undercover main, our explosher main. I used to be a charger main, but I switched off. And then, and so as we started playing together throughout this just like for the past couple months, we really started seeing our strengths and weaknesses and we worked on our teamwork rather than our weapon loadout, because our weapon loadout is our best. And we can use our best weapons at their best. So if we work on ourselves at a team, we can really bring ourselves up, even if they're not the most conventional weapon choices.
Listen,
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, same here. Like, honestly though, like, from what I could tell, like, y'all really made, like, your main weapons work together. Like, I feel like even though, like, some of the comps were definitely, a bit unusual than what we normally see in competitive Splatoon, y'all really just made it work, and it definitely shows like throughout this entire set. So that is honestly like really that's just absolutely amazing. And I do have one question for y'all. Like, was there any particular moment that just stood out to you during the set that you would like to bring up?
One part, well, I guess like a couple things that especially saw is like that last game was really the other team really like put themselves out there. It was like, wow, they really came together and started working with their range more, is what I saw. Because that was one of the things that we as a team were first struggling with. It was like we were all just kind of rushing in and like all together, and we used to suck fighting blasters because we will all die at one pool and get blaster would get a triple kill. And
They
so
really
watching
checked
them
it.
kind of have that same growth that we saw in ourselves past was pretty cool, especially in that last game.
Yeah,
Ooh,
like
yeah.
me and Sasu had definitely noticed that when we were commentating that last game. Yeah, like that was definitely we definitely noticed like a massive change coming in from their end. Um, but Sasu, do you have any other questions that you'd like to give to Kato here? Is that hopefully I pronounced your username correctly? I'm sorry.
Kato. It's like
Oh, Kato. Okay.
cat, but Spanish. Gato, butchered Spanish. That's where it came from.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I butchered it.
It's okay. That was the original intent.
Oh, Gato. Do you know who you're facing next week? Are you done with your entire?
Yeah, this is it for the regular season.
Ooh, so
Ooh.
have you been? I'll change that question a bit. Have you been watching? The rest of Div 7 and who you can be going up against in the playoffs. Is there any particular team you've got your eye on? Maybe that
I
you're worried about.
haven't,
Maybe you're
actually.
excited about.
I haven't. Our team, like we went into this being like, oh, fun Splatoon comp. We never did this before. We just play in like ranked mode. But then now we're like getting really excited. And so we're really focused on our division right now. So we're really focused on this next team, the Grizzco SquidChums. So we're really focused on this one. And now it's like, okay, whoever we fight next, we'll be ready. We're going to work together and then just hit him.
Yeah, I really like that. You guys are kind of just taking it one game at a time, and clearly it's worked out for you because the one game you lost went to a game 7 up against a really difficult team. So clearly what you're working on has been working, and honestly, GG's and congratulations to you. You guys have been doing super well.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're clapping.
Very excited. Thank you for having us on stream too.
No, of course. Thanks for
course.
having such a great game for us to cast. But I think that will pretty much be it for the rest of this cast, if I'm not mistaken. So before we, right? I think. I don't want to
yeah, that is a wrap for us.
Okay, so before we leave, Sib, give everybody where they can find you.
So, we're gonna make. I am Purple Cato on Discord. We're the birthday crew. I don't have socials. We don't have socials.
People want to.
We'll be on stream maybe. We'll be on stream again maybe. That's where you'll catch us. Hopefully,
if you
that's
make
the hope.
playoffs, for sure. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
You can catch us at the finals of Div 7. Ooh.
Exactly. Then we'll have enough success to make a brand or something. I don't know.
I love your motivation, Gato. It's just absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
But
I've been
yeah,
practicing.
if y'all are interested in finding me, y'all can find me on Blue Sky and on Twitch at Sibirrino. Yeah, and if you also want to see some of the action coming from me and my team, you can find us also at Appreciation Collective. But that's enough about me, Sasu. Where can the lovely people in chat find you?
You can find me at Sasu in Your Pants on all socials. SASUIN, the letters UR Pants. You can also, if you go to, well, firstly, you can find me at 10 p.m. I think on Splatoon Tourney 2 as well. I will be commentating for another Div 7 set, not Div 7 CCA, but Div 7 Ludi. In person at LANs. You can find me on my birthday LAN. That's going to be Big Dapple 10. In person. And if you are like the Grizzco SquidChums in North Carolina, there will also be a North Carolina LAN coming up in about a week or two, that being Don't Flounder at the Function. So definitely look into that if you're in the North Carolina area.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that is all we have from us, folks. We hope you all have an amazing rest of your Sunday, evening, wherever you all are. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, good times in everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.
Bye bye.